This video is about trig reduction formula for coordinate plane. We know this is a angle 0 to pi and a pi over 2 for the y-axis. This is a pi and a 3 pi over 2. We also label this is the first quadrant, second, third, and a fourth quadrant. The sign for the trig we use all students take calculus to remember. Angle theta is any angle. How to remember this trig reduction formula? Think about this theta is between 0 to pi over 2. You can treat this theta, even this theta is any angle. You can treat it as the first quadrant angle. Because one circle, that's 2 pi. Therefore, for 2 pi plus theta, or 2 pi times n plus theta, this n is integers. We'll go to the first quadrant. Look at the pi over 2. If we have a pi over 2 minus theta, then go to the first quadrant. But pi over 2 plus theta will go to the second quadrant. Look at this pi. Pi minus theta will go to the second quadrant, and pi plus theta will go to the third quadrant. For 3 pi over 2, so 3 pi over 2 minus theta go to the third quadrant, and 3 pi over 2 plus theta go to the fourth quadrant. And then look at this 2 pi. 2 pi minus theta will go to the fourth quadrant. Let's talk about cofunction. We know sine, cosine, they are cofunctions. For tangent and cotangent are cofunctions. Secant and cosecant are cofunctions. Rules for trig reduction formula. In the formula, if you have a pi over 2 or 3 pi over 2, you will get it's a cofunction. Otherwise, you will get the same function. We will use a quadrant to decide the sign. Using all students take a calculus. This rule to decide the sign. For example, I have a sine pi over 2 plus theta. Pi over 2 plus theta, that is the second quadrant. Since we have a pi over 2, so first of all, we will get the cofunction cosine theta. For sine, in the second quadrant, it will be positive. Therefore, for sine pi over 2 plus theta equals cosine theta. Cotangent pi plus theta equals. First of all, it will be the same function, so still get the cotangent theta. Is it a positive or negative? We will use pi plus theta here. Let's go to the third quadrant. Third quadrant, tangent is a positive, cotangent is also positive because cotangent is a reciprocal of a tangent. Therefore, this will be positive. For secant, 2 pi minus theta. Since we don't have a pi over 2 or 3 pi over 2, so we will get the same function. For 2 pi minus theta, that is here, go to the fourth quadrant. Secant, that is 1 over cosine theta. Since cosine is a positive in the fourth quadrant, therefore, for secant also is a positive. For cosecant 3 pi over 2 minus theta, since we have 3 pi over 2, so we will get its cofunction will be secant theta. 3 pi over 2 minus theta, let's go to third quadrant. For cosecant, that is the reciprocal of sine. Sine in the third quadrant is a negative, so here is a negative sign. For tangent, negative theta. Negative theta will go to the fourth quadrant because we treat theta as the angle in the first quadrant. Therefore, negative theta will go to the fourth quadrant. Since we don't have a pi over 2 and a 3 pi over 2, we will get the same function. That's tangent theta. Negative theta will go to fourth quadrant. Fourth quadrant, only cosine is a positive, so tangent will be negative. For cosine pi minus theta, pi minus theta go to the second quadrant. Since no pi over 2 or 3 pi over 2, we will get the same function, cosine theta. For cosine in the second quadrant will be negative. Let's work out sine negative theta. We know negative theta go to the fourth quadrant. So for sine, you will get negative sine theta. Cosine in the fourth quadrant is a positive, so you will get the positive cosine theta. For tangent, it's a negative, so negative tangent theta. Cosecant will be the same as sine because it's a reciprocal of a sine function. So we will get negative cosecant theta. For secant negative theta, you will get positive secant theta because secant theta has the same sign as cosine theta. It's a positive in the fourth quadrant. For cotangent will be negative because tangent is a negative in the fourth quadrant. This formula has another name, that is even odd identities. In the future, we will explore even odd function. For sine, this is an odd function. For cosine, it's an even function. Tangent is an odd function. We will explore this more in the future.